So I stood here last year about the same time and shared our 2024 state assessment data. So this is, oh, thanks for that. For those who haven't met me, I'm Kristen Sladgy. I'm the Administrator of Student Growth Assessments and State and Federal Grants.
And I'm Sarah Fairham, Executive Director of Learning Services.
Yes. And today we're going to go through the spring 2025 state assessment data. We have a short presentation. There are additional slides for you to peruse, and you can ask questions if you have any. This is just a quick overview to explain the different types of assessments, the content areas, and what the assessments are like. So there's M-STEP, which is given in grades 3 through 7 for ELA and math, and that is what they call computer adaptive, which means based on a student's question, it draws the next question. So it's one question at a time based on the student's response. It doesn't move outside of the level of grade level, but the questions do get easier or harder within the grade level band. And then that's the same for math as well. M-STEP is also for science and social studies. That is a fixed online form, so it is the same test. There are multiple versions of it, but the students' questions they see don't change based on their responses to the previous questions. And that's given in grades 5, 8, and 11. And then there's the PSAT, which is given in grades 8 for ELA and math. And then the SAT, which is given in 11th grade for ELA and math. And both the PSAT and SAT are what they call multi-stage adaptive test. It's still computer adaptive, but it isn't question by question. They take half the test, and based on how they did on that half, it feeds them the next half of the test. So it only takes into account, like it only makes one change based on the student's responses instead of after each question. So that's sort of the difference between the computer adaptive and that assessment.
The challenge that goes behind that is students will come out all feeling that they were equally challenged when they were not.
Yes.
They were challenged to their own level, but her test and my test might be vastly different. And so on times their students might be surprised by their score.
This chart is the first one of many. They look very similar, but this is the M-STEP grades 3 through 7. So it's all of those grade levels combined. It is, all of these bars are a different district in the county. But much like we wouldn't get up here and present data that compares our schools, the superintendents have agreed not to compare data that compares the districts. So we know which districts they are, but we did highlight with the colors us, Oakland County's overall, and the state of Michigan's overall, so that you can see where we compare in those. But these are all Oakland County schools.
For literacy.
Yeah, so this is the grades 3 through 7 ELA one, or English Language Arts. So you can see that Bloomfield Hills is that darker second one in the county, and we're well above both the county and the state. The results for this were very similar to last year's. This is the same assessment, but or same graph, but this is the ELA grade 8, and ELA, like, general term is ELA, but PSAT and SAT, College Board actually uses the phrase evidence-based reading and writing. So I did put both on here, but it's generally called ELA.
For those of you who remember the old ACT where there was a science and social studies component, thank you very much. That's basically what they're trying to do. So their evidence-based tends to be science or social studies-based reading within that exam.
And same thing here, we removed the rest of the districts' names, but these are all districts in Oakland County, and then you can see that Bloomfield is not only the highest, but it's the darkest color, and then Oakland County and the state of Michigan are those brighter colors. This was also very similar to last year. So this is the SAT, so our 11th graders from last year, current 12th graders. And we're still at the top of the county. And this group actually moved up and moved forward a slot. So last year we were 4th in the county, and this year we're 3rd in the county.
And I can't see those numbers, but those look a little close.
They are very close. I will say you do have to, like, even though you can't see the numbers, you can tell, like, the bars are very, very similar. So it's that chunk of 4 right there is
Tight.
Yes. So this is the M-STEP grades 3-7, so it's all of the grades combined for math. This is about the same as last year. So this is that PSAT for math.
Just look at that.
I know, right?
It's really pretty.
And then for both of these groups, this is the SAT for 11th grade math. But for both the PSAT 8 and the SAT 11, this is the first time that they've taken, no, actually the 11th graders took the digital as 10th graders. It was paper pencil up until last year was the first year it was digital.
And this also represents the 38% that were in Algebra 1 as 8th graders. So it is an increase over our math score from last year, just the SAT alone. And then this coming junior class, or the current junior class, is 58%.
And something to know just about, it's a unique thing that SAT has in general dropped the essay portion of their what they call national testing date. So if a student signs up to take it on a Saturday or a school break, they don't give the essay, but it is still part of the state required assessment, so that their score may be different for, they'll have different details when they log into their accounts on the Michigan school test day data versus a national date if they take it. Many students do both. The rest of this is just some additional data about science social studies or demographics. There's some cohort data on there as well. I don't know if you want me to click through them quickly. We didn't really talk about that.
We didn't, it's okay. Why don't we ask the team if they would like to see?
Okay.
I mean, you've seen the data, if you want us to go through and present any particular pages or.
Okay.
We spent a while going through them during the prior session, so.
Yeah, and all the additional are linked to the agenda for anybody
Anybody else?
else who would like to see it.
Those on TV. It's in the agenda.
Yes, it's in the agenda.
Do you have questions for us? No, I will say that we find that a lot of the data that we see as it has improved is reflective of the systemic changes that we have made, both in our scheduling, in our curriculum, in our approach to instruction, and with our onset of iReady this year for kindergarten through 8th grade, we are hoping to increase this upward progress. So we're very excited about the results, but that much like Dan Campbell, I believe we brought that up at the beginning of the year. We are never done. There's things to fix, but we're very excited about what we see and then the path ahead.
Yeah, and I'm very excited about kind of not comparing, but taking a student's data from this and then digging into their iReady data. It gives us a lot more details about what students' needs are and how to address those needs versus the assessments we've used in the past. So we are better set now to meet those needs of students or to be able to diagnose them much quicker and less time figuring out what they need and just more time aligning our resources to their needs.
Personalized.
Yes, personalized instruction.
All right, I think I'm hearing no more feedback. Like Trustee Abel said, we did discuss it in greater detail in our previous session. Thank you for all your work that went into this presentation. We appreciate it. Thank you.